Is there any other news before we move on to new news
Oh, well, there's a couple
that
of
you have?
things.
Oh, are they doing something over in Uncle Dave's homeland, over in Japan? I understand that the companies are getting together.
I have a story here from Fightful by Skylar Russell, NJPW, Pro Wrestling Noah, TJPW.
Wait a minute, hold on. TJPW. What is TJPW?
Well, we'll figure that out momentarily because there's another
Okay.
list. And more. Hold press conference for official recognition of United Japan Pro Wrestling. And there's a photo here of all the executives and hairdos from from the current crop of Japanese wrestling.
Do the front office people have the hairdos like the boys over there do now? What is going on with people's
Well, maybe some of them
plumage over there?
Some of them are front office, I would assume, but united they stand. On Monday, January 20th, New Japan Pro Wrestling led a press conference and announced the official creation of a new incorporated association. United Japan Pro Wrestling. Hold on. The official creation of a new incorporated association.
So it's this translator thing again, isn't it?
I don't know. It says here that the guy wrote this. I don't know. Well, along with New Japan Pro Wrestling, promotions such as All Japan Pro Wrestling, Big Japan Pro Wrestling, DDT Pro Wrestling, Dragon Gate, Ganbar Pro Wrestling, Ganbare, Ganbar Pro Wrestling, Kyushi Pro Wrestling, Noah, Stardom, and Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling were all announced as participants in the partnership. Gleet and Marigold were nowhere to be seen.
Gleet.
Led by Chairman Sanshiro Takagi, the goal of United Japan Pro Wrestling is to, quote, support the people of Japan through pro wrestling.
What? How are they going to support the people of Japan by buying tickets to see our wrestling shows?
And show the strengths of pro wrestling to the world. Takagi also noted that the creation of UJPW was inspired by the challenges that the pro wrestling industry faced during COVID-19 pandemic. Not the COVID-19 pandemic, just like, again, translation maybe. Here's the press release. A special press conference on January 20. No one begins a press release like that. A special press conference on January 20th saw the official recognition of the United Japan Pro Wrestling as a general incorporated association. The legal designation of the industry group strengthens governance and enhances public transparency, as well as allowing for more freedom in the scope of UJPW, while maintaining the commercial activity is not a core goal of the association, which is a non-profit organization.
What the?
Ooh, that's the problem. Too many of the Japanese pro wrestling companies are non-profit organizations.
Non-profit organizations. Yeah.
Chaired by Sanshiro Takagi, the press conference explained the move to incorporation and its function in UJPW's mission statement, once again, to support the people of Japan through professional wrestling and show the strengths of pro wrestling to the world. Takagi recalled the thought process behind UJPW's establishment. This is everything I just read here. Currently, and these are the same people I just read who are members, there are 7 requirements to join UJPW.
And what would they might be, for example?
An organization to be regularly running an active promotion in Japan. That's rule 1. 2, to be
wait a minute. Isn't that like if you're breathing?
Well, that's the groundwork. That's rule 1.
To be in our organization, you have to be in business.
Rule 2, you have to be a legally recognized company. Rule 3, you have to have at least 1 contracted wrestler working for you.
Oh, good Lord.
Rule 4, you must have annual revenue of at least 50 million yen.
Wait a minute. Hold on here now. That sounds good, but there's a lot of them yen. Can you type that into something?
All right, hold on, because I was counting with my fingers here.
Because
50 million. There's no K in million. Yen.
Sounds like, again, a lot of yen, but as we know that there's a lot of the yen around.
Approximately $322,000.
Well, now that if you can make $322,000 in a year with only one wrestler under contract, maybe you should be in this group.
Rule 5, to have been established for at least 2 years. Hence, no marigold or gleet.
Ah, they're not old enough yet.
Rule 6, to have corporate compliance system in place for wrestlers and staff. And Rule 7...
What the fuck does that mean?
What, you have to have corporate compliance system in place for the wrestlers and staff.
That means that there's a group of thugs making the fucking employees be compliant? What?
I don't know, but Rule 7, to share in a vision of betterment for the pro wrestling space at large, even in competition with other members. Takagi also explained a roadmap for supporting members of the association to join would be announced in the near future, with the key... This is totally not making sense. With the key difference in barrier to entry being the annual revenue, and contracted wrestler distinctions are waived.
Wait a minute. So they took out the fucking biggest barrier? Is that what you're saying? They waived the you got to make a couple $100,000 and now just you're breathing again.
Let me read that again. Takagi also explained a roadmap for supporting members of the association to join would be announced in the near future, with the key difference in barrier to entry being that the annual revenue and contracted wrestler distinctions are waived.
Yeah, what?
So you don't even need a wrestler at that point. Takagi went on to discuss the broader vision of UJPW. The 4 central goals of the group, Takagi said, started with introducing more people to professional wrestling and elevating its status in society. In elevating social status, a core tenet will be charitable activities, such as the support for Noto earthquake survivors expressed in the last year. Takagi also talked about more international efforts, explaining the need to introduce the world to the unique culture of Japanese professional wrestling.
World, meet Japanese wrestling. Japanese wrestling, meet world.
And using this as the basis to drive tourism to Japan. Takagi's 4th goal was to expand the marketplace of professional wrestling in Japan with a vision to grow the entire industry to double its current size within the next decade. Citing 1954 as the beginning of the current era of professional wrestling in Japan, in the form of JWA under Rikidozan, Takagi discussed the vision of, quote, supporting the people of Japan as we approach pro wrestling centennial. Takagi...
Wait a minute, in 30 years, we got 30 years to do this.
Well, they got a lot of time to help society. That's right. Takagi closed by discussing the immediate goals for the group, which will see further strengthening and regular meetings with the Japanese government, as well as collaboration between member organizations on policies for health and safety of wrestlers. We end with a quote from Takagi: "We look forward to your support and understanding in our ongoing mission." And there it is. A new day, a new face of Japanese wrestling.
Obviously an exclusive organization to get into. You have to meet strict, high parameters to be a part of this.
You can't join unless you have 50 million yen. Oh, fuck, I only have 10. Listen, we'll make an exception. You can join. Do you have any wrestlers? I'm looking for someone. Just join. We'll get you in. We'll give you a territory. You can work Yokohama. This is like the NWA, isn't it?
Oh, my God.
Except there are no territories. Everyone's just running the same building over and over and over again.
Who's running the show today? I don't know, but we got to go see it to support the world.
But But the changing face of Japanese wrestling and the idea that this current form of Japanese wrestling is what Japan should be using to show the rest of the world to boost tourism and cause the world to be better through the love of Japanese. I don't know what the hell this is.
I don't actually know. There was a lot of discussion there about what they want to do, but not a lot of details about how they're actually going to achieve those ends. Or does that mean that all the talent from these various companies can work on each other's shows, or they can trade or whatever? Why would New Japan particularly want to work with people all the way down to Ganbare and Kyushi? What are they actually going to do? Or is this a board do they have some governmental heat? They said meeting with government officials. Generally, wrestling promoters don't want to meet with government officials, and it's not under pleasant circumstances when they do, and they don't want to attract attention. Is there some issue that they think they can all unite and address?
Mr. Prime Minister, please take this briefcase. Please get Nippon TV to give us back a primetime show. We need primetime back. No, what the hell are they going to do? I don't know what the hell this is. I think, unfortunately, Japanese pro wrestling's in a very sorry state, and there's a variety of reasons for it. And certainly, they don't have the foreign talent that they used to over there, because everyone's locked up to a contract here in the States. And a lot of the guys they get now would have been in the junior heavyweight division back in the day. Now they're the heavyweights. And there's very few people to take seriously. It seems like people creating American-style personas, or at least what they perceive them to be. And nothing really seems to be connected. And they're not making new stars. If anything, New Japan needs talent. That Tokyo Dome show we read the results for is everyone that was on the show 10 years ago. Just older and less able to move.
So you're saying that basically the Japanese wrestling scene is almost exactly like the American wrestling scene, except that the WWE is kind of bubbling up above the fray and minting money.
I think WWE is to facial hair what Japanese pro wrestling is to the bouffant.
I'm going to have to draw some kind of diagram on that. Now, the facial hair and the buff. Well, I'll tell you, folks, if you think that they ought to get in another kind of business, we got a business for them. Brian, would you like to know what kind of business I think the people ought to get into?
I certainly would. I don't even know. Yes.
The Shopify business.
Yes.
Because if you get in business with Shopify, you know what's going to happen. Right off the bat, you're going to hear that cash register. Do the children know what a cash register is, Brian? Do they understand that when you heard that sound back when you were in a brick and mortar store and you had a bouffant hairdo and facial hair and you were servicing the customers yourself, that every time you heard something like that, it meant that somebody had given you money. And for that, you were eternally grateful, because elsewise you'd be out on the street or suffering under an alcoholic husband who mistreats you and gambles and steals things. I mean, you could be Mrs. Wheeler at Wheeler's Ready to Wear and be a kindly old lady with a fucking carbuncle on your neck. But when you heard that sound, you knew that you were making money and you were going to live another day. And that's what you need to think about now, folks. We need to start figuring out how to make some money. Not only around the country, but around the world. And that's what Shopify is and does for you. They're around the world. They're all over the place. They cover the globe, thanks to the interwebs that they're all connected to. And here's all you got to do is you've got to take an idea or a product or a service or something that you want to sell. Maybe it's sand on the beach in Hawaii or ice blocks for igloos in Alaska, whatever it may be. And you go to Shopify and they will take your idea and they will sell your stuff and you will hear that sound. Boom. And then you will be living on a Pacific island with your feet up, sipping a Mai Tai or a margarita. Or possibly while you've got Margaret tied up, you'll have time for yourself. And the best time to start your new business is right now, before everybody else in the world loses all their money. They've got money now. You want to take it from them. And Shopify makes it simple to create your brand open for business. Get your first sale They can get your store up and running, thousands of customizable templates with no coding or design skills required. Absolutely no codes. Fuck that type of thing. We trust people here. We don't have to put our communications in secret code and lock it up like it's a government secret. They're going to take your information and just put it everywhere, out where people can see it so they can come and buy things from you.
Again, the information that you want public. You choose what information is public with Shopify.
Well, they're gonna take all the public information. They check the walls in restrooms and truck stops. They get everything that's out in public. And then they just put it out there for the world to see. And all you need to do is drag and drop. Well, it'll be a drag if you get dropped by Shopify because they're going to make you a fortune. You're going to be beholden to them because their powerful social media tools let you connect all your channels to create shoppable posts and help you sell everywhere people scroll. Somebody's going to be looking at their computer or their phone and they're going to be reading something on a website, and all of a sudden, boom, up pops your face saying, hey, buy my shit or I'll get off this screen.
That's not the way it works. It's a passive, so it doesn't bother anyone experience.
No, everybody's gonna have you saying, spend your money with me and I'll get off of your screen. They're gonna put you up everywhere because they got all the tools to connect with everybody's channel, and they'll hold those channels hostage. Shopify makes it easy to manage your growing business. They'll take care of it. Stay out of their way. And what happens if you don't act now? Will you regret it to your dying day? What if somebody beat you to the idea that you had that could make $1 million? Such as, Brian, I had an idea once for a universal solvent, but I just couldn't figure out what to put it in. Well, Shopify can help you fix all of these things, and you'll be selling stuff, boom, regularly. So for your business to be established in 2025 or become profitable, if you've just been a spendthrift and a wastrel up until now, sign up for your $1 a month trial period at shopify.com/JCE. That's all lowercase now, JCE in lowercase, to get the wink, wink, the deal, $1 a month trial period. It's $1 for how bad can they be if they were rotten? Shopify.com/JCE to start selling with Shopify today.